بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. Respected listeners, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from verse 40 to 42, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was explaining, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed the Bani Israel and was encouraging them to embrace Islam, which is the first pillar of Islam, which is Shahada, to testify the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to testify that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Allah's slave and messenger. From verse 43, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the second pillar. Now, even though this is the salat was also prescribed in the time of Bani Israel, but the method was a bit different from the method of ours of today. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Aqimus salah, establish prayer. Establish prayer. Aqama yuqimu means to establish. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us time management. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us time management. Because salat, of course, has to be read at its fixed hours. There is a certain time frame which salat has to be performed. For example, Fajr salat. It has to be performed when the time begins until sunrise. There is a time frame. Similarly, for Dhuhr Salat and Asr Salat, Maghrib Salat, Isha Salat, there is a time frame that we need to offer our Salat. So now with our busy schedule, all of us, we are busy with our worldly affairs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us time management, that we must take time out to perform our duty and obligation, which is Salat, the 5 times prayer. Secondly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ, to give zakat, to pay our zakat. This is another pillar of Islam, which is zakat, the 2.5% of our annual, what we earn an annual, the income after deducting our expenses and our other necessities and debts. Then we are obliged to pay zakat, which is 2.5%, which will go to the poor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a balance in this world, that those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given wealth, they must pay their zakat, so that the poor also can receive it. So aqimu salata wa atu zakah. If we notice that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see there's two, what we have to make effort on and struggle is, one is our self. Our self and our wealth. These two things. Self and wealth. When we spend this and when we put this in work for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in the Holy Quran, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Those who struggle for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now we have struggling. One is our physical strength. Physical strength. Because to pray salat, of course, in the end of the verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ, which means to bow down with those who bow down, which is salat with jama'ah. So when we are making this effort, this is a physical effort. Waking up early in the morning and then attending Fajr prayer. So we have to make a move. We have to, the physical move. So physical exercise, this is the energy and the effort is going towards the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's one. Zakat. our wealth. Our wealth also is being spent first for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why zakat is compulsory. Zakat is compulsory. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need our wealth. Allah does not need our salat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wallahu al-ghani wa antumul fuqara. That you're the one that's, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need us. We need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is for our own sake, to pay the zakah. See, to purify our wealth. وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. And then also to bow down with those who bow down, which is salat with jama'ah. So this is why this is so important, because this is our guard. If we keep our guards down, you see, like a boxer, when he keeps his guards up, his hand is covering his face. His hands are covering his face, his head. He's protecting his head. Why? Because that is where the opponent will knock him out. The opponent, if he keeps his guards down, then it's very easy to throw the punch and knock the person out. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the salat, like I mentioned in the audio with a counter-attack shaitan, inna salata tanha anil fahsha wal munkar. That salat is a counter-attack. So this salat will protect us. This salat will protect our iman. The 5 times salat, not just 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or whenever we feel like it, but this is compulsory dedication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that every single day until we are living in this world. Just imagine, salat, there's not a single time which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the man's this permission that you can leave salat. Never. Even if you're in the battlefield. It's going to come ahead in the Holy Quran about Salatul Khawf. Even in the battlefield, salat is not, the permission. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give us permission that, okay, we can leave salat. Because the battlefield, now we're fighting with our enemies. And this is a matter of life and death. So even there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed salat. But there's a procedure that, half of the congregation, they will go and fight. And half of them, they will pray. And they will guard the army. Anyways, we will talk about that when we get to that verse, inshallah. But the point is here that there is not a single moment where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the permission for mans to say that, okay, salat is forgiven, now we don't need to pray salat. This is about dedication. You see, when we work for someone, how much dedication we have. So we're working for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because at the end of the verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. And then at the end of verse 46, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those who have the certainty that they will return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and meet Allah. Because we have to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we're working for Allah. This is working for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this salat will prevent us, like as I mentioned, inna salata tanha anil fahsha wal munkar. So our wealth and our self, the physical, our own self, we putting the effort, our physical energy in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then also our wealth also in the obedience of Allah. We are spending our wealth. You see, that's why zakat, and then hajj also. Allah did not mention hajj here. There's other verses, but in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about zakat, which means also the fara'id, the compulsory of, for example, is hajj. If you have the means, then we have to spend and go for hajj and attend hajj also too. This is the pillar of Islam. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, and then ahead Allah mentioned, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. That, don't forget that if you're enjoining, you see, shaitan does not like us to enjoin towards good. Shaitan wants to enjoin everyone towards evil. Everywhere you go, anywhere you go. Today, everywhere is evil. Invitation of evil everywhere. Everywhere. But how much invitation of good? So we need to invite people. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you say in Surah Al-Asr, I mentioned in one of my audio also, that وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. That we also need to enjoin. We need to call people towards good, and enjoin towards good, and forbid from evil. And first of all, we have to start from ourselves. This ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we enjoin others towards good, but you forget about yourself. وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. So we have to first of all focus on ourselves. That am I doing what am I supposed to be doing? First of all, focus on ourselves. And then at the same time also, because we're not selfish. And Iman does not mean just only pray salat ourselves and do all the good deeds ourselves. No, but we have to convey and we have to spread the truth. We have to invite towards the truth. We have to invite towards the good deeds. And we have to invite towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards the recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to turn towards Allah and make tawbah, always making tawbah and turning towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, because one day we'll have to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the verses that from 43 and 45 and 46 Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, you see, given us the remedy basically to bring the love of dunya, the love of this world out of our hearts, and to bring the love of akhirah in our hearts. Inshallah, we'll talk about this in the next session. Wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.